Hello, Starshine. My name is Liz, and this is my channel, Simsational Stories. If you have not seen my videos before and you enjoy this one, please like and subscribe. And maybe check out my Facebook page, where this whole thing began, as well. All relevant links are in the description below, and of course, if you're a Sims player and you'd like to download any of the characters featured in my stories, just search the hashtag Simsational Stories on the Sims 4 gallery. All original content is created by This Is Not Eric. Alrighty then. So, welcome. And what is up, Buttercup? Are you having a good day or a bad day? Whichever your answer, please allow me to distract you from your life and tell you a story, a Simsational story. Before I begin though, I'd like to issue this blanket content and trigger warning. The following story is just Sims, hey. I'm not going to apologise for treating them terribly, if that's what I've done, but I do want to assure you now that although I mean absolutely no harm, I completely understand if you feel unable to consume my content. Many loves, and we will catch each other on the internet elsewhere. Okay, so now we've gotten that over with, let's go. Today's story is from The Babysitter Builds a Life, and we're at chapter 1. All subsequent chapters will be put into a playlist on my channel, so you can hear the entire story in chronological order. So without further ado, let me introduce you to Ali Clements. Ali was only 17 when she started babysitting Kelsey Calthus and her little brother Kevin. Their mother, Kellyanne, who was pregnant with her third child, had hired Ali to come around 5 days a week for 3 hours a day so she could do her own thing, locked in her bedroom. Kelsey and Kevin's stepfather Nicholas Lockyer was often home while Ali was over, and it didn't take long for his relationship with Ali to take an inappropriate turn. Nick was a beautiful, charismatic man, and Ali was a naive girl who fell for every sweet word he said. Ali never thought about the consequences of her actions. She just got caught up in the moment. But in such a small apartment, it didn't take long for Kellyanne to catch them together. Now, Kellyanne was pregnant, and although she wasn't certain the baby was Nick's, and he knew that, he still didn't want to abandon her. Reassuring her that what had happened with Ali meant nothing, Nick promised Kellyanne that he would end things. However, ending things was the last thing Nick really intended to do. He was so unhappy, he told Ali, and he felt trapped by the whole baby situation, so he couldn't leave. Kellyanne soon gave birth to a son, who she named Keith. Her 2 other children, Kelsey and Kevin, were not Nick's, but he had grown very attached to them, especially to little Kelsey, who was the same age as 4 other children he had fathered but had no contact with. Nick had shown Ali photos of his other children, and explained the situation. He had been young and dumb, and wanting to feel like a big man, he had dated not just Katrina Caliente, but her daughters Nina and Dina at the same time. And then they had all fallen pregnant at the same time. Ali didn't care about Nick's past or his other children. She did of course care, but it didn't bother her. She loved him, all of him, and she reassured him that nothing he did would ever change that. Ali's resolve to be with Nick was about to be tested though, as Kellyanne announced a 4th pregnancy, and this one was definitely Nick's. Ali was horrified and devastated. She had been under the impression that Nick and Kellyanne hadn't even been sleeping in the same room, let alone together. This was too much for her. She was heartbroken, but she knew she had to end things now. In his desperation to salvage the situation somehow, Nicholas decided that proposing to Kellyanne was the best course of action. He'd already ruined things with Ali, and him and Kellyanne had a family together. It was the right thing to do. And then Ali started experiencing morning sickness. At just 17 years old, she was pregnant to a man almost twice her age, who not only already had multiple children to different women, but was engaged to one of them. Ali went over to Nick's place to confront him angrily with the news of her pregnancy. She had been so naive. She hadn't even asked about protection. Why hadn't he taken care of her? He was supposed to know what he was doing, but obviously he didn't, and Ali realised she was going to have to do it all on her own. In anticipation of becoming a parent, Ali decided to move out of home and get her own place. It was time she grew up. She got a small grant to help with furnishings and prepared to start her new life as a single mother. And that brings us to the end of Chapter 1 of The Babysitter Builds a Life. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe so you can tune in soon to hear the next chapter. Or like I said, look us up on Facebook. Bye!